It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in cinema, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And is Murray here today?
Murray's working.
He's always working.
No rest for the wicked.
Fair enough. So no Murray. I'm very disappointed.
No. I'm sad. I miss the merman.
I mean, I'll get over it, but I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it's a sad, sad day.
All right. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on!
All right. Thanks to all of you supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible movie. And you know what? We'll watch it. Now, let's get to raging. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, Canyon Meadows Cinema, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5, $5.
Regular price is $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together. Gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Hey, maybe you think there's a Liam Neeson or a superhero movie planned?
I hope not. But maybe there'll be a great independent documentary.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a special event, or go online at canyonmeadowscinema.ca.
Oh, baby. We saw some stuff in cinemas.
We did.
Yeah.
Not together.
Good stuff. No, we didn't. By ourselves.
By ourselves.
Maybe for birthdays, maybe for other things. Who knows?
Maybe
for anniversaries. Who knows?
Yes. All right. One thing that we saw was a movie called The Menu.
Yes.
The Menu. So The Menu, directed by Mark Mylod and starring Ralph Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Nicholas Hoult, has a delicious appetizer and a delectable main course. It is a story of class warfare as it plays out in a multi-course meal. The performances are great from both the mentioned leads, as well as the supporting cast, with a John Leguizamo sighting as well. And Hong Chow as Elsa, who always brings her A-game. And who even knew Judith Light was still alive? And she ends up having a very poignant, subtle moment at the end that was kind of brilliant. Watch for it. The film pulls no punches as it skewers the pretentious guests that have come to the Hawthorne for some fine cuisine. Ralph Fiennes as Chef Slowick is his usual mesmerizing self, and every time he clapped, he not only had the undivided attention of the patrons, but he had mine as well. I hung on every word, every facial expression, and every movement while he was on the screen. There is a moment towards the last third of the film that you can either choose to embrace or choose to roll your eyes at, and from there, it will decide how much you will enjoy the rest of the film. Chef Slowick mentions to the guests that they could have tried to escape at any time, and questions why they think that they had not, and instead chose to stay and experience the entire menu. If you buy the fact this crowd would not lay it all on the line to survive, then you will enjoy the rest of the film. If you do not, you may not find the rest very plausible. I chose to believe and go for the ride, and hence supremely enjoyed this film. And while flawed in spots, its overall impression was very satisfying. The menu was a mouth-watering offering that had all the ingredients that I craved. And while it is not the perfect meal, it is delicious enough to call it Mondo.
Oh, baby. You had me going there all the way through. I was like, what's going to happen here? This is so much suspense.
Yeah.
Right?
There
It
wa-
was, yeah.
it was- I didn't tip my hand. I could have gone a number of different ways.
You could. And actually, as I was watching this movie, I was actually thinking all the way through it about you.
Yeah.
So, like only a refined palate can deliver, the menu is a slow burning, tasty menu for anyone with a foodie heart. The humor is dark and subtle and comes back on you many times through the courses, so make sure to bring your Pepto-Bismol to fight the acidity humor reflux. The characters are so well designed and obnoxiously over the top and satisfying, just like every course that was delivered brought more tension and surprises to this film. The amount of detail in the setup of this movie was all deliberate and with purpose. The best part was, at the beginning, the most annoying character, who's annoying right from the very beginning, played by Nicholas Hoult, who plays Tyler. From the very first 5 minutes, both Murray and I were like, oh my god, he's so fucking annoying. I hope he dies first. Spoiler, he doesn't.
No.
But suffice to say, he might hang around for a while. Huh?
Yeah. Clever.
So Ralph Fiennes and Anna Taylor-Joy were absolutely fantastic. The suspense was so well done, even though you know what's coming all the way through this film. But the film draws you into the culinary adventure, even if you aren't a douchebag food snob like me. But I think it helped me out because maybe what made it so funny for me was I have actually eaten at these kind of meals before. And yet, by the end, the cheeseburger really is all that I wanted. This film was dark, funny, well-plated, delicious, and of course it was Mondo. Even though this film was a little bit long, by the end, it still left me wanting s'more.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, and
Some
actually for our
more.
listeners, that's right, wanted some more. And actually, the funny thing about this too was Murray also found this Mondo.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know what that means.
yeah, I know what it means.
Mondo! Mondo! Mondo!
Yeah, Nicholas Holt's character in this, man.
Oh, you just want to
There
punch him.
I know, but there were so many parts in this movie watching him. I'm just like, holy cow. Even there's a part in the movie where the men are supposed to go run. I forget what the name of the course was, but the men are supposed to go and run away. And he runs around the corner to see what the courses the women are going to be eating. And I'm just like, what? God. I couldn't stop laughing every time he was on the screen. Actually, there was so much joy in this movie.
Yeah, there was a lot. And the way it all played out was pretty clever, and I do like the everything at the very end made sense, but there was some stuff in the middle that you had to make a choice to go along for the ride, cuz come on, if you're in that situation, I don't think you're just sitting there. I don't
Well, so I understand. I'm gonna 100% agree with you, by the way, that you could to your point, is about 1/3 left in the film, where you could kind of say, well, no, except they did kind of show later on, like it took them a while to realize fully what was happening, but by the time they were realizing it, there was enough giant chefs that they were intimidated by, because they kind of had tried to do a bit of a mutiny earlier, and it didn't really go as well.
Yeah, but it was weak.
But these are all, I mean,
I know who they are, and I know.
And
that's why I went along with it, and that's why I loved it.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a fun movie. You know, it's funny because seeing this in like close proximity to Triangle of Sadness, it's like this whole wave of films about the snobbery of people. Is I'm liking this trend. I'm actually liking this trend.
And just laughing our asses off at it.
Yeah,
man, both of those movies were hilarious.
Hilarious.
And how many times can we say that these days? Because I mean,
never.
Were they comedies? I'd say they were. Done right.
They were comedy. It's funny, and you know, we do consider ourselves, you know, snobby douchebag film critics, and it's really making fun of, you know, our friends with money who may be snobby douchebag wealthy people, you know, which we aren't.
No. No, we're not.
Maybe that's why we can find so much humor in it.
Yes. All right.
So we also saw a movie called She Said.
She Said?
She said it.
She said.
She said it.
All right.
She said. Didn't we see a movie called She Said?
Yeah. Well, I did.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. So yeah, so did I. It just seems like,
let's talk about it.
Did I get it right? Is it She Said?
She said?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she said. She said. This this film is the epitome of detail. But in addition to detail, the story this tells is one of hope for the rights of women and all people oppressed and subjugated by the evils of the machines, intent on undervaluing people as humans. Ultimately, this story proves how quickly we forget history. And I found it surprising how this starts with another famous sexual harassment case of Donald Trump, which quickly gets kind of passed over. And the very reporter to deal with his story takes on Weinstein as well, with a group of journalists, but mostly the work of two, Megan Tuedji, I can't get it right.
I thought it was just
and Chewy, and Jodie Cantor. The acting by these two leads are emotion-led as well, and very well done by Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan, respectfully. As much of this is a biopic, this story has a much bigger message that I feel. And that is one of showing how much work and effort investigative journalists do to get these important stories. I feel this story is trying to show us that the news that is brought to us in these stories may not happen anymore. And as news agencies fail and are falling from left to right, and we are replaced by quote unquote daily news, which don't take the same level of investigative effort as a story like this one does. As much as the story of Weinstein is and was important, but to me, the story of the future of journalism is the bigger and maybe most important story here. I had mixed feelings as I watched this film, as it is quite long and detailed, and as mentioned, but you know, the more I sat with this film and digested it, when I came out of the film, I didn't love it as much. But the more I got to thinking about what the ultimate message here is that we need to continue to support investigative journalism. And so for me, this touched me way more than the maybe message of the Weinstein, although that's important and I think it needs to be told. But to me, the story of investigative journalism was really put into film. I loved how the impact this had on me. It was Mondo for me.
I didn't watch the same movie as you because I didn't see any of the things you're even talking about. I didn't think they covered Weinstein, the integrity of journal. I didn't see that. What was I watching?
I don't know. I mean,
did I go into the wrong theater?
Maybe.
I
knew, when I was watching this though, I knew you weren't gonna love it.
So She Said is a bit of a strange film. The performances are good with Zoe Kazan and Carey Mulligan and Patricia Clarkson and Andre Braugher, who was great, and the absolutely beyond mesmerizing Samantha Morton, who is on screen for maybe 3 minutes and is the best thing in the movie. As Zelda, I can't remember her name, but anyways. Yeah. But the strange thing about this film for me is it seemed to be more about the New York Times trying to beat out the New Yorker for a story and less about the victims of a monster. It is trying to match the intensity of, say, an All the President's Men or Spotlight, but doesn't come even close to the intensity of those films. Watching these ladies drinking coffee, rushing from one meeting to another, and watching people crowded around a computer screen, proofreading their story, is not exactly compelling cinema. The whole project feels a little rushed to me, as if the reporters in the story are kind of like the filmmakers making this, trying to be the first to the cinema with their account of what happened. I also found it uneven, having some principals playing themselves. It was just sort of awkward having Ashley Judd playing Ashley Judd. This was an important film to make, and I just wish it was more about the important things in the story and less about beating a rival publication to the scoop. Still, the Samantha Morton scene was worth the price of admission, so She Said was meh.
All right.
Like we watched two different films.
Well, you and my wife watched the same film. I watched it from a completely different lens. I follow the news quite closely, and the evolution of news now is not good, in my opinion. And everything that you're saying about it, I would agree with you on. So for me, this was really hard for me to judge this film, because I 100% agree with you that the story that they were telling, specifically about the Weinstein case, I didn't feel the same level of emotion. And it's funny.
Here's the thing. If it wasn't about the Weinstein case and it was just about a fictional account of something and they're showing the process, I think maybe I would have enjoyed it more. But the fact that they're making it about Weinstein when really that's not the story they're telling, I think maybe they are telling the story that you're talking about, that with the way that the journalism is not what it used to be. But that doesn't belong in the Weinstein story. If you're telling the Weinstein story, you got to be effective and you got to pull no punches. But I don't know what they were doing. I was confused.
Yeah, I mean, again, I kind of agree with you on that sense. But to me, I like that type of direction, though, where they were like, it was so quick and fast and they put so much content into it. So it was crammed. It was crammed with content. They went from one scene to another scene to another scene. I mean, there were scenes where they would show where she was just walking somewhere and then they would edit to another scene. And so it was very choppy, but I like that. I like the feel because it did kind of feel almost like a documentary, but it wasn't a documentary. I also felt that, to your point about Spotlight, I was kind of comparing it to Spotlight with the same sort of idea in the story. And I agree with you, I wasn't emotionally tied to it. But what I absolutely loved about this movie was the fact that as I'm looking at it, the amount of detail and what it showed that these women had to go through to get this story. And every step of the way, they did go into detail about, how this didn't work for them on different levels. That story, I was on that ride and I loved it. I thought I kind of wish there was more movies that explained how stories came to being. 100% agree. If I went into this movie and came out of it and was judging it just on the Harvey Weinstein story, it might have even made it to a rage for me. But because I walked out of this movie and I instantly thought to myself, you know what? We're fucking losing investigative journalism. We are absolutely losing that now. And this movie is about these two very important women in investigative journalism who are doing what they still need to do, and I hope they're still working today. So, I maybe I agree the movie was mad, but for me, the story about those women and the telling of investigative journalism was a momentum for me.
All right. Well, here's what I took out of it. Zoe Kazan sharing the screen with Samantha Morton is ridiculous because Samantha Morton just blew her out of the water. It was crazy that I didn't think the performances were that good because she is just okay, and I'm not sure. I mean, Carey Mulligan's fine, but I wasn't impressed with Zoe Kazan like you were. She was not good. I mean, you put her on the screen with Samantha Morton in that restaurant or whatever it was, and it's just you've got one unbelievable actress and then you've got somebody that's got a job as an actor that I don't know that she even deserves to be there. She should not be sharing the screen with Samantha Morton. That's just wrong.
But most people shouldn't, so it's not really fair to anybody, let's face it.
I suppose. I'll give you that. All right, sir. So. Guillermo, I can't even say his name. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yes.
You watched it?
Yes.
As did I. So.
I imagine you did.
Guillermo del Toro brings us his vision of Pinocchio. It is the Pinocchio I have been waiting for, but just didn't know it. It is dark and sentimental and brutal and inspiring, and above all else, the best adaptation of Carlo Collodi's character that I have ever seen. It is a beautiful film that had me in perpetual awe for its duration. The voice actors were fantastic, with the likes of Tilda Swinton, Christoph Waltz, John Turturro, Tim Blake Nelson, Kate Blanchett, Ron Perlman, and Ewan McGregor, all lending their talents to the project. Visually, it is stunning and reaches out of the screen and pulls you into the imagination of Del Toro. It is a film that has some simple, universal lessons to teach. Be a good person, help those who are in need, put others' needs before your own, and it also has an arching lesson about death and sacrifice. This is a wonderful film that everyone should watch, although it may be a little heavy for younger viewers. And if you do watch it with your children, be prepared for a very serious conversation after the film ends, as I'm sure they will have some hard questions for you to answer. I absolutely love this film, from the animation, to the voice actors, to the message, to the fact that as I watched it, I felt as though I was witnessing something special. I don't get that feeling that often these days. This film was a triumph. This film was Mondo.
Yeah, I almost wanted to say ditto to what you said. I think that this movie is the Pinocchio that should have come before we've seen any other Pinocchio. My biggest problem in actually not even wanting to go see this movie, but I was going to see it because it's Guillermo del Toro. And I still believe he's Undoubted, is he not? I'm pretty sure he is, yeah. So, I mean, when he puts his name onto a film, it's going to have a level of not just of beauty and perfection, but it'll also have characters that are so well developed. Like, of all the directors working today, I think no one else can tell character stories to the same level that Guillermo del Toro can tell. I mean, we know that there's some Japanese and Korean directors that get characters, but as far as people working that making English speaking films, I don't think there's somebody on the planet that does it better than Guillermo del Toro. And this Pinocchio, I mean, every other Pinocchio I've actually seen is terrible. It's like
Yes.
I've never liked the story as a kid. I never liked it when they remade it. I didn't like the Tom Hanks version. It was also awful. Like, it was just, we've had so much fucking Pinocchio come out lately that I didn't want to see this. And this is what makes me the most upset. Like, because he's been working on this for like 10 years, or if not more. And to think that if he would have released this sometime before Disney Plus came out, or before all these other people started putting it out, or even before Disney even made the original Pinocchio, but I know that's not possible.
Go back in time.
Go back in time.
Guillermo del Toro builds a time machine.
She goes back and we see the original Pinocchio. I'm going to 100% disagree with you, though, that this is a kid's story. It is very weighted so that it is a family can watch this and they come out of it and we'll have hopefully discussions about certain things. But this is a kid's
Just be
story.
prepared for those conversations. Like, that's all I'm saying is I think everybody should watch this, including kids. But there will be a conversation after that needs to be had with them.
Oh, I mean, these are the movies that we should be having our kids watch.
Absolutely.
If you think of, all of the fairy tales and Grimm's tales from our childhood that we had our parents read to us, that's how we got introduced. And those stories are fucking twisted, warped, and crazy. We didn't have, like a happy ladybug or things like that. Like, these stories were gruesome. I mean, even the nursery rhymes we sang, "Ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posy." It's like we're singing about the Black Death. Like, this is what we grew up in. No wonder we're so fucking warped. But this movie has a level of, and the humor in it is just so. There's a scene in the movie, and I went and saw this with my wife as well. There's a scene in the movie, and I always have to ask myself, first off, why are they singing? They needed to have.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
He was performing. He needed to be singing when he was performing, but they didn't need him to be singing. But what made it so funny is that they had a couple of scenes where he was singing, and then there's a scene where he's going to go off to school for the first day, and he sneaks out of the house, and Ewan McGregor starts to sing.
Jimmy Cricket starts to sing. And then
Pinocchio just kicks the door against him, squashes him, and the song ends. I'm just like,
as soon as that happened, I'm just picturing Jim just in total bliss. I laughed out loud. Nobody else was laughing in the theater as hard as I was at that particular scene. I don't know why, because it was hilarious. As soon as
probably because they don't know me. Maybe it's because they don't.
But that's also that's probably part of why I enjoyed it so much. Is as soon as it happened, I'm like, yeah, Jim's gonna enjoy that.
Oh yeah, I mean. And then I don't think there was any more singing.
No, not really.
I think it was just Pinocchio when he was performing, which was so
fine,
great.
Yeah.
The only flaw I had with this, and I don't know how you saw it. I mean, obviously we both saw it on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it's almost like they didn't use as many frames in the video, because the video was like, when you watch some stop animation, it's much more fluid. So it's almost like it might have felt like it was a little bit rushed at parts within the movie.
I actually thought there was and now that you're bringing that up, I thought there was a bit of an inconsistency where some of it was very fluid and there were some choppy bits. And I don't know, I'm not sure why, but you're correct in that. It didn't take away from it for me, though. I was still fine.
I'm judging
I get it.
every aspect of it.
Yeah, no, I get it. But
right?
yeah, no, I also know what you're talking about. But it wasn't consistent though. Like, there was some very fluid scenes, and there were some that weren't as fluid as far as the animation goes. So
Yeah, I wonder if it was like based on when they were shot, how they were shot.
Yeah.
Because if it took
If
so
it was
long
done
to
over
shoot
time, they might have done it with a slightly different. Yeah. Who knows?
different processes. So, anyway, I'd be anxious to see when it comes out on Netflix on 4K to see how that turns out. So,
All right.
anyway, yeah. Again, Guillermo knocks it out of the park. So
It's what
now
he does.
we do need to talk about the fact that we're talking about this because it's Guillermo del Toro. If this was anybody else that made this movie would not be on our podcast.
I still say
because
it's not a kids movie.
It is a kids movie. It's
Kids can
it's
go
off of a
watch it,
children's-
but it's not a kids movie.
Yes,
it's
of
not
course
My
it's a
Little
children's-
Pony or frickin' Care Bears.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
No,
It's not some
it's a
cutesy. No, it's not a kids movie.
I mean, if Guillermo del Toro does a movie that's based on a children's book, it's still a children's story. Even though you don't want to believe that, this is a children's story that he brought to a movie.
It's a movie that children can go see, but no, it's not a children's movie. I went to it and enjoyed it. I'm not a child. Well, maybe sometimes.
That's yeah. Your point of view doesn't matter. The fact of the matter.
No, my point of view is the only one that matters.
No, it doesn't. If this is a children's book brought to the screen, Roald Dahl's books and the movies that were made out of Roald Dahl's books are also probably not for children, but they're children's books that were brought to the screen. Like if you watch James and the Giant Peach, that frickin' movie is
it's not
horrifying.
a kids movie either.
That's a horror movie, but it's still
that can be on the podcast.
No, it can't.
Yes, it
No, it
can.
cannot. No, it can't.
Yes, it can.
So we're going to vote next time whether things are a children's movie.
Well, who's
Trust
to
me.
say? Who's judging this? I don't understand. I don't know what you're talking about. You're losing me, man.
Animation drama family fantasy musical. The word that says
what is
family
that? Who came up with this? Give me a name, and I'll call him up, and we'll talk to him, and we'll find out why he said this.
It was Guillermo del Toro.
No, it was not. You're just lying.
Watch Guillermo del Toro's our age, so he was probably twisted and warped as a child also.
Anyway,
it's Mondo. So you know what that means.
What does that mean?
Mondo! Mondo!
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Sweet rage. Oh, you know, my rage this week is the lamest rage I've ever had in the history of film rage. Because I have been without you for longer than 2 weeks at a time, but seeing these films that we saw this week, these are all movies that we should have seen together. Because I wouldn't have had it. Well, I mean, I did have fun with my wife at the movies, and I did have fun with Murray at the movie, so that's okay. But these three movies in particular are ones we should have seen together. So my rage this week is that I didn't get to see you for this week. That's my rage.
that's super lame.
It's the worst. And happy belated birthday.
Thanks. I am
old.
Yeah, I am. It's weird. I got up that morning and there's like a clump of hair on my pillow, and I literally started creaking when I moved, and I had aches and pains. It's like, what happened? Got older. I'm a year older now.
A whole year
Oh,
older.
Terrible.
And a whole year better.
I hope so. All right. My rage is also super lame. My rage is that Jim keeps on telling me that Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is a kid's movie when it's not. That's my rage.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Now, did you hate this as much the second time around?
What's that?
Constantine.
Oh. Yes.
All right. Nice.
It was bad.
I still love this movie. I love
don't know
every single
why.
thing about it.
It's not, it is not a good movie.
It is
and I am so
good.
sad that that we had a Mesmerized off in this movie, because man. Oh.
Yeah. I'm glad. I got to watch it again.
There you go. I got to watch it hopefully for the last time.
Well, I can't see as why we'd have to watch it again.
No.
I mean, I will watch it again because I own it. But
excellent. Yes. I hope you enjoy it many more times.
I'm gonna watch it again tonight.
I will never watch it again. I was just glad it was on Prime. I think it was
Nice.
on Prime. Was it on Prime or Netflix? I don't know. It was one of the streaming services. But
Yeah, it was somewhere.
It was on
It was
somewhere. It was, not great.
Something.
Not great.
Yeah, so we had Tilda Swinton
Yes.
versus Peter Stormare.
Oh my goodness, those are two very good actors.
They are both brilliant actors.
Some might
And
say.
they were mesmerizing actors.
Yes.
And they were both in it for almost exactly the same amount of time because I timed them both.
Interesting.
And in my memory, because I remember us talking about this ahead of time, you're like, are you sure that they're in this for 5 minutes? And I was getting kind of panicky because I thought that Tilda Swinton had another scene in the movie through the middle of the film. She just had kind of the two small bits in it.
Yeah, she had
And
one
then
at the beginning, one at the end. Well, not at the beginning.
And I
but
thought she was, Well, there's another scene of
towards the
her, but you
beginning.
don't know it. You don't really see it's her. It's just her back. You get to see her in there. Yeah, so but she's not really technically in it. So it was interesting because I'm like, oh fuck, is she in it as long at the end? But then she was. She kept popping up.
She did indeed.
She kept popping up. So yeah, I mean, to me it was very obvious, and we don't have to count it down because we know now that we are 100% honest with each other. And for me, it was Peter Stormare. I just thought his scene as Satan was pure evil, and I thought I'm not saying that Tilda dialed it in, but I think there was scenes in it with her that she wasn't to the Tilda Swinton that we are used to seeing in everything else we've seen her in. And maybe it's because she also didn't like the movie. I don't know.
I think that's what it was. And this is like the saddest day of my life because I agree with you that it's Stormare. And I did not think I would ever see the day that Tilda Swinton wasn't on the Mesmerized list. And,
I would agree with you.
And I'm a little pissed about it.
You were hoping and praying that
I gotta be honest. I mean, I was sitting there going, okay, I don't care. I'm taking Tilda Swinton. I don't care, but I can't do that. It's not fair to Peter Stormare. He was more mesmerizing, and that's not making me happy.
Well, and I'm sure Peter Stormare is happy to know that you have chosen him over her.
Yes, I have. And I'll have to live with it for the rest of my life.
Well, you know what? Tilda Swinton still may have a chance to get on Undoubted someday.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about that? Let's find out where she's at.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah,
Will that cheer you up?
Maybe. I do like to talk about Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, I know you do.
Best.
Okay, so
But
there's
she's
one
been
film
in all
I'm
the
kinda
Marvel
concerned.
movies is the problem.
Yeah, but she was in Marvel movies that
were okay. Yeah, Doctor Strange
good, yeah.
and yeah.
As long as they weren't back to back. Okay, so Pinocchio doesn't count because she was a voice actor.
Yes.
The Eternal Daughter, I haven't seen,
I have not seen it either.
but now I want to see it.
I don't even know what it is.
When are we gonna get to see this?
I don't know.
And she's in the lead in this. In this ghost story. Oh no.
Has it come out yet?
I don't know. It's showing. It's got ratings.
All right.
It's 6.7 on IMDb. So, see if we can find it. Maybe we'll watch it this weekend. I'm sure she's gonna be great, but the movie might not be. But it just has to get to meh because the movie before it was 3 Years of Longing, which was
Mondo.
She was in Memoria, which for you was a Mondo. For me, it was a meh.
It was a super duper Mondo. It was fantastic. It's his movie of the... Oh, I could watch it on a loop.
And you have to be happy because Murray walked out of the movie. He was hating it, but because he didn't watch the whole movie, he can't give it a rage.
Good.
So that saves for that one. The French Dispatch was a Mondo.
Yep.
Last First Men, she wasn't in it. She was just a voice.
She's just a voice, but it was a super Mondo. Love that movie. I've watched that movie like 5 times, by the way.
Wait a minute. Okay, so can you count these, by the way? Just count them because... Okay, so The Eternal Daughter we haven't seen.
Yeah.
3,000 Years of Longing.
Yeah.
Memoria.
Yeah.
The French Dispatch.
Yeah.
The Personal History of David Copperfield, which we both found Mondo.
Mondo. Yeah, that's 5.
Uncut Gems was Mondo.
Yep, that's 6.
Now, this is where things could get off the rails. Because if you gave The Dead Don't Die a rage...
Did I give it I don't think I gave it a rage. No,
I don't know.
Jim Jarmusch, right? That's the Bill Murray,
Yes.
Jim Jarmusch zombie flick.
Yeah, I know you didn't love it.
Here's what I need to do. I need to watch it again. Because honestly, I don't know if it was meh or if it was a rage. I will watch it again. So that we'll put that on the shelf for now. So that's 7. What's her 8th back?
Her 8th back is Avengers Endgame, and that was a meh. Unfortunately,
so needs to go from possibly a rage from me all the way to a Mondo. Well, who knows? I'm a different person than I was 7 years ago or whenever that came out. When did it come out?
Like 2 years, 3 years ago?
No, it wasn't 2019.
Yes, it was.
That came out in 2019? What? The Dead Don't Die.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honest
I have
truly.
no concept of time. I would have said 2016, 15.
Yeah. So we didn't review it on the podcast, so yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it again, and maybe it's a Mondo.
Perhaps you should watch
Avengers
Endgame. Perhaps you should watch Avengers Endgame.
Maybe it's a Mondo. Well, just in desperation to get her on the list. if Dead Don't Die is not a Mondo, then I think I have to watch Avengers Endgame and got my fingers crossed that I see something in it that I didn't see before.
She's got like 5 projects in development.
Yeah, well, that'll knock the Avengers movie off. So really, I mean, even if I don't like that one, I'm only 2 movies away from her being on the list, possibly. So
that is true.
From being Undoubted. So she's very, very close. By the middle of this next year, regardless of what I think of Dead Don't Die, she still might be Undoubted.
Exactly. So, you know, I have to say, it looks like I chose a pretty... I don't want to say good movie because I thought it was a good movie, but I chose a good choice for movies.
I will give you this. It was bad.
Yes.
But it wasn't as bad as I remember it being. But it was still bad. It still wasn't watchable, but it was before, like, I thought, oh, this is like, it had like a few moments where like, okay, this isn't quite as bad as I remember, but it's still not good.
And it was still one of the best movies I've ever seen. I can't wait for them to do the second one.
Okay, now you're being stupid. One of the best movies you've ever seen. That's the dumbest thing. You've said a lot of dumb things on this podcast, but this was not one of the best movies you've ever seen. Bite your tongue.
Okay, it wasn't. But I have to admit, I used to love this movie, and in rewatching it, I haven't watched it in probably 5 years.
Yeah,
it wasn't as good as the last time I watched it. So we kind of went.
We're going opposite directions here. Maybe we'll meet in the middle somewhere eventually. Oh yeah, I'm never gonna watch it again, so I guess not.
Yeah, but maybe I will. So
yeah, maybe you'll get to.
You'll get down to a rage.
It's a rage. You were right. Told you. All right.
Oh, man.
So, what else you want to talk about?
We are going to a film festival.
Yes, we are. It is
the Calgary Underground Documentary Film Festival. It's the 10th Calgary Underground Documentary Film Festival.
Yes.
And we are going to be there from Wednesday to Sunday and seeing some amazing films. For anybody that's listening from Alberta, you can find them at calgaryundergroundfilm.org to see what is playing. Just some of the really cool sounding ones. There's a documentary about the Chucky doll called Living with Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
One that's getting a lot of buzz right now is Drop the Needle. And
Stephen King doc.
Yeah, what's the Stephen King doc called again? Do you remember?
No.
King of the I think it's called King of the Screen.
In
fact,
interesting.
I'm positive it's King of the Screen. So yeah, we both love documentary films, so I'm sure there's going to be. So next week we're going to be seeing probably a couple films in cinema, and then we're going to be talking about our top 3 films for sure at the Doc Fest. So,
I think I'm going to end up seeing 4. So
let's hope that 3 of them are fantastic.
Because I think I'm going Wednesday. I'm going to both.
Yep.
I don't know that I'm making it Thursday. Friday I'm going to the late one. Saturday I'm going to the late one. I think I'm going to a total of 4.
All right. Well, I'm going to be going to almost all of them.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Ah.
But I'm sure three out of the 4, I'm sure will be worth talking about.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty positive 4 out of the 4 are going to be. So I might make it to more, but tentatively.
So eventually we had a week that Bryce was the slacker of the group. So
yeah,
it had to happen sometime.
It did.
Well, World Cup is on, so I mean.
World Cup. What's that?
Oh my God! It's the only sporting event that I actually watch.
Oh.
That and the Olympics.
Oh, there you go then. Gonna be watching Canada play tomorrow, or
Yeah, I
today,
am.
or whenever it is. I don't know.
I'm sure it's tomorrow, and I'm sure my boss will let me take off work to watch it. So.
Yeah.
Last week on Rage or Dare, Jim and Bryce felt the full might of Casey the Great and Powerful when they dove into the deep end of the pool of the torturous remake Bag of Rage. When they picked the remake of the TV show Bewitched. This week, Bryce will be jumping out of the torture pool and right into the fire as he goes back for his third round of Death by High School Musical 3. Now let's check in with the boys to see if this TV show movie remake will bewitch them with bliss, or will they, as I expect, be raged? I'm banking on me again this week. You know, because I'm Casey, the Great and Powerful. It's my thing. I'm sort of like Santa. I always deliver the rage. You know, I also deliver really great photographs. That's sort of my main thing. But here, you know, obviously on this show, I definitely deliver the rage.
All right, then. So we're talking Bewitched, eh?
Yeah, we're talking Bewitched.
All right. Here we go. Bewitched is original and formulaic all at the same time. I admire the fact that they tried something different to try to bring the 60s sitcom to the big screen. The first 20 minutes had me genuinely believing that I may be watching something that may not be a rage. A behind-the-scenes look and an attempt to bring Bewitched back to TV after decades while accidentally casting an actual witch as Samantha is actually not the worst concept I have ever heard. A straightforward adaptation of Bewitched would have been a terrible idea, but this spin had potential. And then this original idea turned into every romantic comedy ever made. Promising an intriguing beginning, falls prey to formulaic rom-com and one-dimensional characters, as the paint-by-numbers script of so many before it plays out exactly as expected. Not even Jason Schwartzman could save this, although he is the only watchable character in the film. Boring and unoriginal and mind-numbing drudgery are the building blocks of Nora Ephron's Bewitched. And all of this on an unbreakable foundation of rage.
Oh, I have so much to say about this movie. Why was this made? This had motherfucking, as you mentioned, Jason Schwartzman in this. You know, Wes Anderson's Jason Schwartzman. Yeah, can you believe it? He was in this? This is a movie about a movie making a remake of a TV show, Bewitched. But really, it is a movie making a remake of a TV show with the 60s, but with a real witch, where instead they want us to think it's a reality TV show about a witch, and where Nicole Kidman plays a ditz who needs to be complete by pretending to be human and find love with a mortal, but with Will Ferrell, who is the most annoying person that has ever walked the planet. So this was also terribly believable, right? Because that makes sense. It totally makes sense that someone who is a ditzy, needy character that's one-dimensional would fall in love with someone who's the most annoying person that's ever walked the planet.
Kinda.
It completely made sense.
A little bit.
Because he finds a real witch to play a fake witch, and he's completely annoying, but she falls for him.
It's clever.
So it's not. It's dumb. But it's supposed to be funny, I think, because, you know, it's got Wes Anderson's Jason Schwartzman, and he's funny, right?
I'm glad. I'm sure he loves to be. That's how he should introduce himself from now on. If he goes on like the Tonight Show or something, it's Wes Anderson's Jason Schwartzman.
Absolutely. That's where everybody knows. Like, let's face it. Every movie, every Wes Anderson film he's in, he was discovered by Wes Anderson in Rushmore.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't see him before that.
What are
So,
you
no.
wearing? They're OR scrubs. Oh, are they?
Yes. So, no, not even Jason Schwartzman. Oh, sorry, Wes Anderson's Jason Schwartzman could save this movie. And if she said it once, she said it 1,000 times. I'm not going to use my magic again. And then she uses her magic again. I thought I was going to go on Amazon. No, let me think this over. As I'm watching this, I wanted to go on Amazon and buy a Harry Potter replica magic wand, wait for next day delivery, but make sure I gift wrapped it to myself as a gift to extend the pleasure of opening it. And then, of course, take it out, stab myself in the eyes, ears, nose, and throat until I magically turned into a chia pet of blood, or made it so I had never have to partake in another Casey Dare as long as I lived. It's bad enough to remake movies, but to remake a TV show into fake reality TV show movies is the worst possible torture Casey has bestowed upon us. I had hated every single second of this tree patch of trash heap of terror ride to TV land torture. I think I remember after seeing this film the first time when it came out that I started to hate Nicole Kidman after seeing this. It took me a while to like her again. And with Will Ferrell, as usual, he's not doing anything he doesn't normally do other than being an idiot man baby. And the depiction of Nicole's character, that she is a love-hungry, worthless woman, I'm sure must be offensive to every single woman everywhere. Why do they always have women in these rom-coms who have paper-thin characters and have them fall for ass bags? This is the reason this TV show ended, and it should have stayed dead in the 70s as a TV show where it belonged. This was to me the worst dare that Casey has given us out of that bag of shit. It was so painful for me. I didn't like one thing about it. The fact that anybody would watch this movie and think that Nicole Kidman's character deserves any respect. This and rom-coms in general, they paint these pictures of women as being like their characters are paper thin and have to live to have a man. It's like every time I watch this, when I think of some of the super female-led films that we've watched this last year, and think to myself, Woman on the Roof, and what was the one we just saw the other week? Tar.
Tar, yeah.
Tar. With Tar, right? Like, you see movies like this where they have movies they're writing about women who are like captivating and interesting and deep and powerful. And then you go to shit like this where it's like every fucking rom-com is made to torture anybody that watches it. The fact that anybody like this is beyond any sort of understanding. Sorry, I still want to buy that fucking Harry Potter one.
I hated this movie, but I gotta be honest with you. It's the best of the Casey movies, in my opinion.
No, this was so bad to me.
It was awful. It was beyond awful. It's a monumental rage, but it wasn't frickin' Point Break or Flatliners or whatever other garbage he had us watch.
This was worse for me.
No,
they were all
not
terrible.
for me. They were all terrible, but man, it's the list of I don't. I hate that frickin' bag. I can't wait till it's empty.
I think he's gonna continue to.
No, I think he needs to be cut off. Give me some reprieve. Give me a few months off at least. Once this frickin' bag. There's so many stupid little pieces of paper in that bag still, though. How many goddamn? Anyways.
Let's see if you pull Death by High School Musical 3.
I got one.
All right. Everybody wants to turn the other way around.
Everybody Wants to Be Italian from 2007. What the hell is that? I don't even know what this is.
I don't know.
Well, you put it in
Fine.
here. You don't know. Everybody Wants to Be Italian? This sounds dicey. I don't know about this one.
I'm checking to see if it actually got a. Oh yeah, baby! Box office 3 million. Yeah,
Everybody
you're gonna
wants-
love this.
Okay.
Everybody Wants to Be Italian.
And who's in it?
Nobody you've probably ever seen.
And
It might even be in Italian. Nope, it's in English.
okay, I've never
Jay-
heard of this movie.
Jay Jablonski,
Ah.
Serena Vincent,
Uh-huh.
John Capelos,
Uh-huh.
John Enos III.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's nobody in. Oh, Penny Marshall's in it. There you go.
And it's from 2007 and Penny Marshall's in it?
Yep. Everybody Wants to Be Italian.
Alright.
Good.
Well, I guess I'm watching
Good.
Everybody Wants to Be Italian. I don't understand.
Good luck.
I don't even- I hope I can find it.
It's a rom-com.
Uh-huh. 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 All right. Well, guess I'm watching Everybody Wants to Be Italian, which I've never heard of in my life, but that's
I
probably
sure
good.
hope you can find it.
I do as well. I do as well.
And we're still looking for that dare that we got from our friends at Cinema Recall, so be ready for that when we can find it on
Yeah, I can probably maybe get my hands on it if we need to.
We'll watch it around Christmas to give ourselves a extra Christmas present.
There you go.
We'll get a week off from Casey.
Just watch that. I could use a week off from Casey. Damn you, Casey. Damn you.
Nice. All to hell. Oh, baby. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, the nerdy photographer, for the voice of Rage or Dare. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. And Black Friday savings are going on now. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, or even send us an email to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please make us a rage. Please, 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 make us rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.